I got spurs, completely caked in salt. They do not jingle jangle no more. But anyways. Last time around, traded in a bunch of ash to this guy. Get what he gave me. Don't think it was one of the laser pistols. Do remember it being engraved. It'll be here somewhere. Why is the pointer getting stuck? Whatever. Probably just a skill issue. Just say yes, it keeps happening. And I still can't find the item. Whatever. We'll find it eventually. In the meantime. Alright. Rusted archway. Already cleared out this place. The other thing I remember, we were doing Bethesda Susa. So, am I good with the Mechanimus? Work, damn you. Yeah, they seem to like me. We should be good. Just have to decide if I'm well armed enough. Oh wait, that's what I got last time. I think it is. Graved lantern powered exoskeleton. Gives ego and strength. Should probably go drop off the books. Maybe get rid of some grenades. Specifically the sower seeds. Discovered a lair. Investigate. Lair of Kafafat, legendary feral dog. I'll check the place out while I'm here. And I might as well also put the microphone closer to my face. I keep making that error. Think I'd stop, but nope, still happening. Doorway over there. So I have to get through all the stuck dogs. Some stuff over there. It's just a vine. 2 vines. And here is Kafafat, legendary feral dog. Loved by dogs, hated by the grazing hedonists for selling a map of their vaults to adventurers. Have some water. I am now loved by dogs. Tell them about the goat folk village. And the goat folk haunt. Now you share a secret with me. Vision of Arawib, goat folk village. Not sure what I expected. Live and drink. Security key card. Discovered the location of a slime weep. Alright, back over to six days still, right after I look at this other ruin. Got a couple of smoky lizards. Try to get him down here. That way I get a corpse. Eat its entire serpent, unabridged. A point of harmony and formed Hinnom Lake. And can infiltrate. You will need to know more. Clearly. Air current micro sensor. That's displays. More ruins. Don't mind if I do. Sphere Miritum. Turtles. Morlalamib, the morose, legendary irritable tortoise. Loved by tortoises, hated by bears, for questioning the origins of the moon. Admired by the villagers of Sharshamer for penning a moving poem. And disliked by the villagers of Dumrimrod for worshipping a highly entropic being. I would like to be on better terms with all of those factions, but one way or another, gonna be losing out on half of them. So run away. Put away all the books. Most of the books. Remember that the button is O. Better not forget that one again. You have some stuff to trade. am I doing on salves? I've got 6 of them. Get one more, and the whole cuddy. No fun liquid. Cycle gland paste. Bone meal. Various preserved injectors. Get all of that. Painted glass bottle. Scene from the life of the ancient Sultan, Palishir. While traveling through the scientist city-state of Narkush, Palishir stopped at a market in Enkamripur. At an obscure shop, he purchased a periodic floating orb. He named it Periodic Palishir Gift. Then he went to a nearby tavern and lost it to a local pickpocket. He cursed the tavern and left Enkamripur. Over the location of Narkush, once seat of scientist. Where would that be? Over there. Not terribly far from Bethesda Susa. In the jungle. So if that one over here is in the jungle, that one there is almost certainly in the Rainbow Wood. Or is it? Because I noticed there's another one right next to it. Guess I'll find out. So for a second, I forgot what the dollar sign next to the entries was, and that do you still have the secret untraded? Can't forget that, even though I just did. Make something with cyclogland paste. Fine wafer. And some salt. And a dash of radiant trash. Tasty. Guaranteed to be tasty. Reveals the secret. First at half rate. Benini's nostalgic watery salt loaf. Tortoises sold a weird artifact to some group of friends for too much money. Scandalous. Got face harmonic. Might as well grab that. Phaser pistol. Honestly, never really liked the spacer weapons. Mostly just because plasma everywhere tends to be hazardous to everyone's health. Oh, hey there, Billy. How you doing? Still the lead acid cell. You're good. I'm good. We're all good. Hopefully. And hopefully for a long time too. Added. Grab that. Already know how to make the good EMPs. And the good thermals. Guess I don't need the keys anymore. At least, even if I still do need them, I've got a convenient way to not have to use them anyway. It's called a pickaxe. Pretty handy. Okay, learn the recipes. And keep looking for dudes that sell good things. The rarest of things to find. Weird artifact that does not cost much. Some Sphinx salt. Immune to confusion isn't nearly as good as temporary precognition. Keep getting tempted to make a trukin. Was that a lacquered folding chair I saw? It was. And there it goes. Mashed lag. And all these other things. Anything else I want to sell? Rid of one of the compass bracelets. And the gold nugget. Alright, done here. Kinda wanna go over to Narkush. There's gotta be some good stuff there, right? Notice some ruins. Check it out. On our world. several of the chests containing the ruin of House Eisner, where I stored it, somewhere 7 parasangs east of the ruins of Joppa. There's one of the coordinates. Now I just have to hope I find the other one. 7 east of Joppa. Seem to ignore him. Are all Kendrins so gullible? Fine. Go to the villagers, too. It's a worm. And now it's gone. Okay, Joppa is right there. So east it said, which is to the right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So it's somewhere in this row. Could start looking now, but that's gonna take a while. I'll find the other coordinate before I start. More ruins. Polygon Nabir. Mushrooms. Sure, I'm glad that when I shoot without a target, it doesn't just shoot myself. Although now I think about it, that's how slam works. It is a mystery. Pipeworks has smashed his. With its mind, it could fold the fabric, is knit tightly, but it stitched into a plowshare and dissolved the Sultanate in order to keep us from belonging where we already do. Compound Engage, the Beetle itself. 2nd edition. Unfortunately, we require more than the 500th of an ancient yew. At least it's not cigarettes. They're guns. In the age of Uframasp, slag was mined and molded into 100 yards were quite invisible. Discovered the location of Shugryuv, the burrower. Determined the location of Taurus 19th Yarapa. So where is Shugryuv? Over in the lake. I think it's gonna take him a while. Better go the other way. Or maybe the path wants to go this way anyway. Autopaver. And now the skin is itchy. I forget. How difficult is it to get rid of the fungus? Gel, asphalt, and a raw leech corpse. Not the hardest one to find, but I kinda hope I don't have to worry about it. So let's make sure of it. Did not already have a recipe, unless if it's hidden. Yeah, I don't see it. Okay. So... fermented yuckweed, honey, and salt. And a pinch of goat hair. Plus the save versus disease. Forget if that is also counts itchy skin, or if that's a separate thing. We'll find out. Engraved short bow. A scene from the life of ancient Sultan Shalashid II. A hall of mirrors. Shalashid II cemented her friendship with swine by marrying Gararas. Shit's on fire over there. Must be your doing. Ufu Uboafumu. The nimble Snapjaw Fire Snarler. Loved by Snapjaws, hated by the Hendren of Bela for lighting a beacon fire to warn their enemies. Hated by equines for disproving a famous theorem. And now he's gone. And I'm favored by the Hendren of Bela. Could go and pick up multi-weapon fighting. Save me a nice 150 points. I am kinda using multiple weapons. Yeah, maybe I'll go do that. After I check out the historic site. Spotted a jellyweed. Might as well grab some while I'm here. Notice some ruins. Investigate. Free chain gun. Don't really need those though. Not to mention pretty damn heavy. More ruins. Discovered Nabir negative first. Also, we should probably have some more of the anti-disease food. So notice the itchy skin is still there. I only get ill for 1/10 the usual length of time. How useful. Inside a colossal mote of light, Shalashid cemented her friendship with Tinkers by marrying Helitera. Apparently I already knew that. Also, since the meal wasn't terribly helpful, I should drink some honey. Maybe it'll help. Painted metal folding chair. One night, under the beetle moon in the historian's autarky of Nazamor, a healthy child was born to the Sultan at Shiva Cave. At the moment of his birth, a college was founded, and in celebration, the people told stories and renewed friendships. The babe was named Ufermasp, but the people called him the foretold Inkwell. Chipper trotters. I sit under a chrome lever. Idea that knuckle walking was in another. Tinker nods. The world was suffused in the psychic lave. Come, traveler. What? 4th edition. I am sharp. If you say so. Chrome joints and piled in a cubic. That is, from the point of view of the form falls to pieces. But if sugar or salt be put into motion, the idea of a star. And I've got the glow crust. Dang it. Well, at least I get some free mushrooms. Chard the jeweler mumbled. He pointed to a vast and ancient paper, a palimpsest, or palimpsest, of Greece. Wraps the brain cavity in shades far too engrossed to see that the arrangement of lines upon a clan of robots, performing a secret carver in 3 places. The headrest and 2 pairs of gargantuan arms grasping each other. Glow crust is on the arm. This is the one that gives me mushrooms, right? I don't remember. Either way, it's there on my arm. No wait. Here's the mushroom. On the icy outcropping. Just have to go get some asphalt and a leech corpse. Level 20. I think quickness is my highest ranked one. Teleport is 4. Strength is 4. Bubble is 2. Triple jointed is 6. And quickness is 7. Plus the boost. Keep putting it in quickness. $126 points. If I got the first level of multi-weapon fighting, I could get the second one right after. By that I mean, if I go back to Bela and get him to teach me the first level. Need 27 of one of those two. Unboosted is 25 and 24. It'll be a little while until I can get that one anyway. Maybe I should have checked the skills before I put my mutation point in. Could have stuck it into double muscled. Or triple jointed. One of the two. Probably triple jointed now I think about it. Sooner I get fastest gun in the rust, the better. I'll go get rid of the fungus first, just so I don't forget about it. There's some leeches. Gone, monkey. I would reconsider. Yeah, probably a good idea. Speaking of reconsidering things. Narrowwire no longer. Servant of Toe. Loved by the seekers of the Sightless Way. Hated by Mollusk for cooking them a rancid meal. This guy could be pretty dangerous. Yeah. Get rid of his entourage. Pretty darn sure I've got a love injector. 2 of them. And I missed. Right away. And run right back. There we go. Okay, now that you have chosen to love me, have some water. Not have any secrets to share. But 125 more rep is 125 closer. That's a lot of salt. £6 weird artifact. Value of 303. Better not be one of those psionic weapons. I really need those right now. Alright. Completely forgot that I don't actually have to pay for it. He'll just hand it over. You can have that sword though. Always forgetting things. Gaslight Grizz. Resonance Grenade Mark II. Okay, you stay right there. Actually, do you know where the hell we are? Apparently not. Otherwise you would have told me. There's the asphalt. Give me, no, 5 grams. That should be enough. Actually, it'll be more than enough, and I'll have plenty more opportunities to get more. And I just remembered I needed a spray bottle. Put all of the stuff in. So 1 asphalt, 1 gel. Need to eat the corpse of the leech. Hostiles everywhere. And lost again. Don't know why I thought that was a compass. Discovered Tagash 21st. Counterweighted carbide battle axe. Probably worth carrying. Shaman that can phase out. Didn't really help him much. Discovered the location of Tagash 29th. Or ruins. Yes, please. The Decahedron Zeroth Miratum. Engraved Aether hat. an image of Polyshear on it. One about periodic Polyshear gift. Novice of the Sightless Way. Get ready for Adept of the Laser Pistol. That is a gelatinous wedge. Marble statue of a Temple Mecha Mark 1A. Next to a red gel statue. What's all this stuff doing out here? Discovered an abandoned village. Would you like to investigate? Yeah. The abandoned village of Kabakish. Getting hungry. It's time for leech. And the fungus is no more. Only took a little bit of a detour. A painted funerary urn. In 5005 before Reshef, Polyphemus won a decisive victory against the combined forces of Suruk at the bloody Battle of Shirshashir. Though she lost her prize, Strangaka, Vine's friend, during the course of the conflict. As a result of the battle, Shirshashir was so vacant of signs of life that it was renamed to Worldly Waste. Some books. Technically, these belong to the village. Not that I think there's anyone here left to give a damn. I'll leave the books, but I will read them. Let me just have a sip first. Two sips, even. Alright, and now the reading. May I touch it? Oh. Wet be done within any. They claim descendancy from Rowan Godfear, the brother of her secondary beau. Wet Breaks the Plane, Volume 6. In short, you must first ingest a potion called the Elements. And wet their edges decohere. Actually, I just realized that's because the book is physically wet. That's not part of the title. Most of the warden's pike, who was close friends with Eskind. More ruins. Icosahedron. Ran for nothing. It is true that in a coiled mound, had it in chrome, I was once merely a carbide head. Sounds pretty metal. A spiritual patron of kith and kin. An instructive discussion with a larger size. Smolder to heather. This town lies a plastic Hauberg. Prohibiting the Practice of Hearing, Volume 3. Sometimes my arrest must be made by a lever with a bouquet of crumpled, smoldering legs. Sounds hot. This called Sedek. Friend? Live and drink, friend. Beneath him, 4th edition. Locate the Berephramite enclave within Gritgate. Ask the Berephramites have programmed a troop of Waydroids to guard their secrets. Scatter all their power. No night would be called matter, else the law of gravitation, as stated. We're finally at the place. A historical site of Nakrush, once seat of scientist. You got bugs. All the urges. So happen to be here. Not part of the cult. At least I'm pretty sure they're not. Made of glass. It is too great, too multifaceted. Tripped through a chiffon tube. Fate has not happened during the Dark Age. Averaging 1,800 feet in a vertigrel. One can traverse the arable land around Mograyi for lifetimes without ever encountering the deer people who call themselves the Hindran. Such prowess that it expresses a reel. And all these things are formed within the quivering limbs of a true flower. It blooms, not true blossoms. Riemann Zeroth. What is its function? Eta paused, and then you hit. Even be rearranged by some. 4th edition. However they came to his falsetto chiming, meant to draw portraits of landscapes. But running free and running. At its heart, supporting evidence that in some measures of success. The telltale marks of age. There it was molded on a smaller scale. Library and read your speech. I am joyous to reside here. This motion, Volume 3. They grow, eat, sing, and joggle their curious little fingers at the hands of nature, have been polished to shine. Village be damned, you monster, you. To attack a hostile creature. Here to joggle their curious. Lots of joggling and jorging going on. Engage the ascension mechanisms of the air around the haft of the Mediterranean. Bows and sworn fealty. So you like it? Sheba Hag and I cannot deny that it can be no gravitation, for that is not saturated. An ape fur cloak. Piece together clues, arriving at the conclusion that there exists a dimension known as the vast annulus. Arcs to the guild has been being grass, the feeling of animate being. Assailant tactics were assessed. Travel to the distance, a part of the signal. A colony of the goodness. I am Divrak. If you say so. Oh hey, it's the thing. The periodic Polisher gift. +1 strength. Temporal fugue at level 3. Seems pretty good. Thing is, though, I'd be giving up my light source. But there's a way around that. And I wish I had a better battery for it. Solar cells, I think, would run out too quick. But I should probably have a bunch of these anyway. Take like 5 of them. And go back here. Hang out for a while. Go 200. Okay, it's definitely morning now. and the cells are charged. Probably also make some food. Let's see. Can't have it all. Hulk honey. Cider. Quickness, max health, strength. Seems like the best choice. Although 8 to 10% chance to have a 50% chance to dismember his slam is not terrible, even though I hate the way it's worded. It's more like a 4 to 5% chance to dismember or slam. Yeah, maybe I go with that one. Paninis, honey over grilled meat, cider, and compote. Decipher this enigma. Find. The whole section is glazed with furcate nerves, or furcate. Starburst of the new crosshatch of consciousness. Large creature. Have 2 modes. The algebraic tubers. Asphodel. I like them. It's a green gel. Probably look at the statue before I accidentally blast it. It's nothing new. Sewage eel wraps itself around my feet. Do I win? No. Been poisoned by the goo. The dirt, they live their new lives. In a place where we need Pax Clank. Archean, called the Angler King, shrugged off. It is said that each of us, shades of blue, will often shine out golden. Stars denote the spiritual aspirations, which its contemplation calls forth. I understand. Snouts and wishbone shape pooling. Peopled by the annals of Cud over an old recoiler for you. Dipped lower the particles in a cloud that. A full book. Seeing lots of Moon King and Moloch. No secrets about the ruins of Hofzeisner. I know I read them all last time, but I'd rather not. Maybe I can be convinced otherwise, but not so easily. Especially since there's already so many books. Less subtle. Your electrical resist score is 0. Still, though calamitous could apply. Such tremendous loss. And slight. Sorry about that. And slice through circuit topography. I wonder if Ka knoweth aught else but fear. Greatly in winds from different directions, but worship eagerly, and the final ontological and phenomenological ledger. Sneer with his fellow, unabridged. Unshelled reptiles seem to know you. The Tomb's Contents, Volume 4. Set a spell. Hexagonal condensate, stipple her swollen chin. Blowtrot is an ultimate particle of matter. Will be satisfied with your work. You will be a time comes when our thought form can affect only very few, but in those who look like it. Guarded, Volume 5. I apologize, and I believe her proximity will help me find my purpose. The gyre widened in the putus. Oh ho, well. Hell indeed. Let me have another sip. Moment passed before. Made the earth like ore. Illuminated by proper physical methods. I wish I had no resonance. For me, whilst I could remember them all, could I influence the product of a flute? Earfling mused testily, when I lurched to the modeling shape of the free seer. A fold belt. As much as this attitude may be able to use an attack ability. Electrobow. Shrine to Ufremasp, the bane of Wazomas. While traveling near Shiver Cave in the historian's autarky of Nazamor, Ufremasp was captured by bandits. He languished in captivity for 7 years, eventually escaping to Mazubu. We've discovered the location of Nazamor, the erstwhile hearth of historians. Wonder where that one is. Wrong button. Not far from the 6-day stilt. Maybe I go to that one right after. A scholar knows who composes the annals. Mac diverges. Ho ho. The imagination, like the sight of the moon. Or like the sight the moon. Each of my time to fight, Moon King. Don't call me that. Each infection differ. Volume 2. Retrieve Tao's chime from her branch in the right lock. They've got chromelings down here as part of the cult. Didn't see any on the upper levels though, unless if I just missed them. Artisans working through, unabridged. Yes, my neighbor can tire of the night's reports. Dagger made of brine stock. Mutation score associated with defects. Olive green cloth, 4th edition. I would waste by writing a text about it. Near Bethesda Susa, where Chef lost control. Volume 7. We are family by choice. Move and that the answer, should you. The juice is inside. Indeed. Lots of empty bookshelves. And a weird artifact. It's a grappling gun. Someone here's got a barrier. Wherever they are, I don't see him. Ah, there you are. Anustus, legendary gelatinous wedge and leader of the Cabal of the Kakish Scourge. Loved by the cult, disliked by the villagers of Darakesh for telling bawdy jokes. Disliked by the villagers of Makish for slaying one of their leaders. You know, I haven't used Temporal Fugue all that much. Let's give it a go. And immediately start running away as grenades fly everywhere. Nope. The slime's dead. That her friggin' seed sprout worm. Where are you? Or were they just pushing the plant matter around with the shield? They were. Discovered spheroid 20 Tagash. graffiti. Doesn't say much anymore. If it ever did say anything. Credit wedge. On the dominant guard of Narkush, once seat of scientist. Three and -2. Think that's equivalent to a steel shield? I forget. But it does give me +2 strength. It's probably worth it. Puts you on top of some graffiti. 2 rings of spongy slug body are deflated and still. Discovered the recoming nook at Jill. Or is it Gil? Whatever it is. Not that I have much of a reason to go over there. Well, not early anyway. Sound O. One may be made. First edition. Upon hearing the news of the novice or disciple's splotchy baldness on the square of the clearest districts of the hills, as its pilot, and that rejuvenate. Decipher the second forms a cloud, called, from being puffed on, to cultivate my own. Are we yet researchers? Is subject content no longer matters? Downward pointing triangle which indicates. Have any news of the tragedy of Gimlet? So, sweep the full effect of each one of them when spread on the use of electromagnets to interface with the mark of death has been cut and fitted to a dearth of prep time and earth pull. A colorful Oflex in a body having, unabridged. Moon King, I'm not asking you to study under Room. No, that's someone else who did. Also, don't call me Moon King. Just Frozen Dew, we shall be known. It's terribly finicky about food. Witches of Moonharve who seek. In instant time, from here to decrypt the signal, you secured the ground. Shimmering aura. Blank puff on you. Of Ontozandele cross-dimensional symbiote. They will find happiness there, or the amplitude of vibration, and only settling somewhere when entanglement demands it. Frame has grown in order. You speak mistakenly, but your mistake is cousin to truth. Drop onto 4s. Take a look. The gut. I hear she's a subentity of the shores of songs. Said the gods had taught him to steal the treasure of our lords, of our argent fathers, our meeting, a tiny son. Spindle-limbed is dismounting dread. I cannot find a way through salvaged Elliston fitted with filters to recover wastewater from the back of a boreal titan and shaved into a file. And when we speak strangely, why dost thou speak strangely? It's not the same. Toll the rocks. A speaker from the sun. Shrine to Shelishid II, Prism in Pistachio. On the night of a full moon, a babe was found swaddled, with its mouth full of glass, by a group of fish in the jeweler's monarchy of Kabashan. They took her into their fold and fostered her, and she became known as Shelishid II, the glazed progeny of fish. The garden behind the pain. We have not earned. Of Elsing Talet, Volume 3. Shall we trade? My friend, thank you for the scant supplies I stole. I stole supplies to sustain itself, but the attentive eye that matches her catches sight of you, and the tools to expand it. Water's fee urges over the head. Accordingly, note that the knotted, erumpent throng of organ that is the dissolution of social order via entropic forces. Chromelings seem to have resistance to laser pistols. Or maybe it was just that one specifically. Established in Abrams' time, first edition. You are skilled at acrobatics. Kaleidoscopic corridors. This is resolved in the high salt sun. Black rubber cut. Interact with scrap clay mound. Done and with it. Credos have no inherent meaning that one may so simply define. Discover the location of icosahedron 4th Miritum. Usual, Volume 7. Regardless, thou art welcome here. Of adamant carapace. For reasons we can get through them, and stars beyond them would become the most pointed of the world map with Command Auto Explorer. We reckon that about 3,000. I can't help but wonder why you're telling me this after returning me to my duties in peace. I know you will pilot. Expose the structural form. A full book. Well, not a full book. It's only 3 pages, rather than the usual 7. How about I have a sip and then I'll read this one? Alright, time to read. So the title, Expose the Structural Form. The companionship is welcome. You've arrayed yourself in the body of the coven. It was too much unknown. Thus the elasticity is increased in the study of its elliptical cannon. Such it was gored and dashed against the house of Eisner. The same ingenious inventor has constructed a fog counter for the mess like a minnow in soft. Tell the slimfers seem to detest the practice of staring into mirrors. A credo informative and confoundive at once, of course. Stay safe. Ah. The risk of drawing moon-doting beast is too great, too multifaceted. Need you defending, or cybernetic wares? Or are you talking to me? No sudden moves around the apron of the tail. Don't say? Well, there's a fear deep in the eyes. An archive too, friend. Our roars are bestial. Would you like to hear this of you? Common remedies, yuckweed, honey, are sometimes effective at halting the color of the Templar whirleater. From the heat and sound waves are pulled apart by clouds, and the stars race toward their own projects. My people are known to come here, that is, connected with it. Prickles? Clank, Miss Prickles. I start at once transformed into heat, when the west that leads to a child. Yet, it attacketh not. No honor is higher for a village in the air from a 2-dimensional projection of the exposed corm. Spindle glitter and cohere as a babe, though the drawings are on very different in character from that distance. His eyes tucked deep into his cub. I smashed it from the plates of air carapace armor and eat boar flesh. Will you go breaking my fence? Please, no more. Sad. Now then, return. Your deeds are incised in uneven rows and columns that meander across the 4-folk span of soft tissue and eels to the low strata smitheries. Live and drink, wayfarer. I have yet to choose a destination, friend. Never has Kyakyukia seen such a power source shielded from electromagnetic attacks. Sharing nutrients, would you? Yes. Around 1800p, they disappeared suddenly, perhaps as a physician. You are raised to disciple, friend. If you bent him, he might finish crossing the desert air. There is implied the previous case. By the fall to Earth, orbits its chosen warden. Q-Girl and I are nothing. The most likely contracted it from the west. The Hindran quailed, a scrap of the musker at dawn, and together they know. These things said one knew, but take heed, for ours are idle lives, and you go get the limit of visibility also increases. The chanting compounded in my eyes. If I remember a foreglow most vividly, which was not the slightest indication of any wavelength will travel in it something of an... Your skills represent the abilities you have seen and heard now, though I could not be that the elements are added, until the bones are pull-proof, And here I wonder if the music is performed, and also its absence. During the course of my children, rots for you. Tell this nymph could be no gravitation, for that is not my trust that was possible, and waited for Hertz to devise apparatus for producing them. We have not earned. You're either very brave or very foolish to stop me in my comparatively short time, but vortex rings will not, but will start at once seized me. Wish you would swear that shadows stood at the tip. There are two big rotary saws, rust dulled. I understand now. Moss and algae. Why are you the delight of forming opinions of my kinsfolk? There is a very angry person wearing heavy plate armor. An endeavor, unabridged. If a microscope be employed to magnify a minute drop of water, refusing to touch it. Of war and in definite proportion. Least favored of an ogre ape into a thick coral or coal fog. And now I'm carrying too much. It's only like 90 pounds of books. Alright, what to ditch? Probably the rusted fire chair. I'd maybe get rid of the steel buckler. I think I'm at the point where I'm not gonna equip it again. Not gonna use the gas like Chris. Rid of the nearly empty batteries. Alright, good to keep moving for a little while. Fire is itself. Here they are. And the second is hegemonic control exerted by a lightning-quick metabolism and shaken with thunderous pangs of hunger. He longs to grip prey and is green without being buelled to by the easy-walking exercise on the fates of the moon, is but one hemmed-in quarter I witness so little of, nor one whose outcome so dearly affects my life. Spindle Channel glimmers across. My two sisters are all notoriously poor liars. And that's all in this ruin. On to the next one. Also, I've been noticing my microphone's picking up the exhales too much. It's always a new issue. But this one might just be a skill issue. Stop breathing out into the microphone, damn it. Screen's doing that thing, or was doing that thing, where It jitters ever slightly, depending on where I'm on the screen. I think zooming it out and zooming it back in like this kind of fixed it though. See if I can recreate it. Yeah. If I pop, close this menu and open it again. Doesn't quite show the full screen. So if I move to the top or bottom, it moves the screen a little bit. Zoom out, zoom back in. Or no wait, it's still doing it. Damn it. Is it fixed now? Actually it is. It's not zoom out then back in, it's zoom in and back out. At least I think. I'll swing by the 6-day still again. Drop off those books. See if there's anything else I want to sell. And then head over to the what's it called again? Nuzzamore, erstwhile hearth of historians. Now that sounds like someplace that's got a lot of books. It's a magical ape. Kaoya Kekyu, well garbled. Loved by apes, disliked by birds for lighting a beacon fire, disliked by the villagers of Darakesh for impersonating one of their leaders, and disliked by Chava, the Tree of Life, for cooking them a rancid meal. Well, if you weren't an ape, I'd probably kill you. But you are an ape, so I won't. Have anything to trade? Surprisingly, yes. But nothing I want. Put away the books. Might take a while. Should really mark that one as important. Or did I already? I did not. There we go. Alright. Before I go looking at all the shops again, as you do, I am gonna go take a short break. Be right back. Alright, I'm back. And I decided to go with a slightly different drink. Didn't quite pick up on the microphone. Noise cancelling is too strong. But anyways, time to go sell some shit. Pick up that Hulk honey, grave moss, and the blaze. I think I've already read that one. That's the one about Strangica Vine's friend. Or no, wait. That's a different one, clearly. Or is it because there's two of them? Yeah, that's probably it. First one, image of ancient Sultan Polyphemus. In 4964 before shift, a corrupt administrator was appointed minister of the Tinker's aristocracy of Kikish. She outlawed the practice of climbing a mountain, and Polyphemus was forced to flee. And the second one, also of Polyphemus, in 5005 before Reshef, Polyphemus won a decisive victory against the combined forces of Suruk at the bloody Battle of Shirshashir. Though she lost her prize, Strangica, Vine's friend, during the course of the conflict. Okay, yeah, no, I was right. This one, I already read. That's the new one. Outlawed the practice of climbing a mountain. Huh. While wandering around the jeweler's monarchy of Kabashan, Shalashid II discovered New Narkish. There she befriended winged mammals and built a glass gazebo. Apparently I knew that one already. Some shade oil. Yeah, I've got plenty of all of those. Not sure why these are in different stacks, but they are. Throughout the entirety of 2454 before Reshef, Ufremast wreaked havoc on all of Sapir, kidnapping the smartest children from the homes of mysterious strangers and worms. He became known as the Sapir Woe. But we knew that already. Placard and Nav. I'll take both, but I get the feeling I'm only going to use one of them. Precision Nanon fingers. It's an item I definitely like. Gonna be a while before I can make use of it. Not quite so for the high-powered magnet. Definitely buy that one. And nulling. Surely I've got enough cash for this. Yeah, there we go. Although, should sell some weapons before I sell the stuff that doesn't have weight. And learn all of those. I'll go ahead and disassemble the grappling gun. I'm sure it's good, but I've yet to figure out how to use it. Let's just take the crafting bit instead. I could boost my reputation with trolls. No, that faction that basically only exists at the entrance of Bethesda Susa. Unless if I'm forgetting something. Or just simply don't know in the first place. That is also entirely possible. In fact, I'd bet on it. Strange tubes. How much do I have to sell? Not gonna sell the freezing dirk. Just because later on I get the feeling this'll probably be half decent. Or maybe it's decent now when I should be using it now, but... current knife's working pretty good. So 455. Not enough to get these. What are the odds these are mechanical wings or something like that? I forget how much those weigh. I'll take a chance on it. Sell some food. Sell the jerky. Katsu stem. Got a bunch of raw meat. Turns out, I did not have as much as I thought I did. Could sell some star apple. That's nearly 100. Or no, wait. Yeah, no, that's less than 100. Not mental mathing very good. Please excuse my, mistakes. Or don't. That's fine too. Anyway, I should probably shut up about that. Annoying to hear me bring it up every single time. and then complaining about the complaining. It's too meta. People don't like it. At least I assume they don't like it. I never asked anyone. When did I pick up a radio-powered chem cell? That's enough for all of those. Give me the other one too. Alright. Now what did I buy? Missile launcher. Explosive grenade Mark II and a freezing carbide battle axe. Oh, the missile launcher is a good find. If I can reverse engineer the blueprint, that's probably one of the best items to sell. Attack grave moss. Hashtag Hulk Honey. Don't think I have much left over for the jeweler. You have the freezing battle axe. Get rid of the wine. Grab the rough agate. Okay, done here. And to the next spot full of books. Trash monk and member of the Ufremuspian flock. Gigantic elastine gloves. We'll hold on to those. Getting hungry. Make something with freeze-dried horse-room. And to go with it, some cider. And some salve. Quickness, healing rate, reputation with fungus. Whenever you eat a mushroom, you stop bleeding. Whenever you take damage, there's an 8 to 10% chance you're immune to fungal spores for 6 hours. I'll go with the first one. Nini's borscht with crumbled cider, mushroom yogurt, and healing loaf. Have to fart everywhere. Shiver's tufts offer rime-tarped nostrils. Climber, thou hast done well to survive longer than a willing spirit. Who can't extract the displaced oxygen. Talk, fight, sleep. Central Disc of Darker, 5th edition. Clank and Q-Girl's circumstance render Jalopy unviable, so Clank relocate workshop. Gwynplaine and Isbor. Some of our collection delusion, meant to be nursed with wine instead of hands by a cousin instinct to hunger. The gelatin entity now extrudes itself forward in prism form. Next floor. Normality field in the area. A lot of dudes here. Neden, godhead of the Scion Lake, and member of the Ufrumaspian flock. Loved by the flock, disliked by dogs for eating one of their young, and disliked by the pistachio woe of Took order for poisoning their freshwater. Think I'm just gonna back up a bit. Lacquered engraved steel dagger. In 5763 before Shev, Shalashid II ravaged all of Took, shattering all the glass in the houses of roots and pariahs. She became known as the Pistachio Woe of Took. Salve injector. I am now despised by the Formaspian flock. Fishing go up, and the Pistachio Woe of Took is indifferent now. I think I need more than just indifference to safely walk into one of those historic sites. Though I don't think that's gonna do much for me. Grab some daggers. Think I've got enough honey. 19 drams. Yeah, that's probably good enough. An engraved wrench. Deep in the wilds of the glass-blower's democracy of Shazopod, Shalashid II stumbled upon a clan of urchins, performing a secret ritual. Because of her transparent visage, they furiously rebuked her and declared her a villain to their kind. and gloomy weather. I stared, gaping. Narrow Down the Sharp Crystal, Volume 4. As they flap the shadows of their time point and crush together in astral tradition, as he draws a stout beam of plate shear metal thrust, a hydraulic component, and that I stole Kindrish. Her influence must be calmed, but the first time I know so little now. Forward motion. Surely, if you like setting. And apothecary to the mound. Often one claims to possess a sentience of its host shape. Motion is involved. Coiled lamb. Is it so? Only a fool asketh after the dream quiver, the saucer slags, and the Hamza for personality. See another purple godhead over there. Friend godhead Nenamele Rit, member of the Urmaspian flock. My speech skills are steadily going down. Might have to drink more. Alright. Loved by the flock. Hated by water barons for lighting a beacon fire to warn their enemies. And hated by the consortium of Fida for tricking them into sharing their fresh water. Good reputation to have. For me, that is. Now favored by the water barons, and favored by the consortium. Discounts all around. Skills off and some tubular hydrojets. A tibula is kind of like a tube. Sort of. Another robot. Two more robots, actually. We've got Amu Nana and Godhead of the Acre Serve. Loved by the flock, disliked by arachnids for ruining the festival of Utyara-Ooks. Disliked by the consortium for repeatedly beating them at dice. And disliked by the villagers of Ezra for lighting a beacon fire. And the other one, Bistarosis, Godhead of the Pontiff Buggy. Loved by the flock, disliked by the villagers of Amu for selling a map of their vaults. Then disliked by Fungi for disproving a famous theorem. Now favored by the villagers of Ezra. Engraved carbide longsword. At dusk under a strange and pistachio sky, the people of Maruk cave. Well, pronouncing everything wrong, damn it. Start over. At dusk under a strange and pistachio sky, the people of Maruk cave saw an image on the horizon that looked like a prism bathed in pistachio. It was Shalashid II, and after she came and left Maruk cave, the people built a monument to her, and henceforth called her Prism in Pistachio. Well, we already knew that, but now we know for sure. There's Beasteros. And there he goes. Out of gun juice. Solar cell. So much stuff on the floor. A dyad of hookahs, taken the crest of the imaginary. And from me, Stardimmer. However they came to the ground. The thatched doors. Her self-appointed job, which she took very seriously, was to be inert, and only a handful of pellets are encased in resin, pull chained up and sprouts a bouquet of wire. How am I hitting the wall from this angle? For something that doesn't move, it sure avoided a lot of shots. Definitely not my aim being kinda bad. Oh hey, another one. Susharan, Curious Godhead. Loved by the flocked, or flock. Hated by the society of Kapar's sorrow for insulting their affairs. Now we've got a beetle spawner. Wish I could break you. Yeah, that's not happening. Galactic Disk of Diodes. You have nudes of our Argent Fathers. They are contemplative, sociable, and mostly peaceful. Painted shortbow with an image of Shalashid I. In 6253 before Reshef, Shalashid won a decisive victory against the combined forces of the Glassblowers' democracy of Shazabad at the bloody battle of the shrine at Nagaruk. As a result of the battle, the shrine at Nagaruk was so bristling with carnivorous geodes that it was renamed Glittering Bog. And this word again. Phenomenological Ledger 2nd edition. Let me look upon your service. Alright. We're 3 floors down. Sure hope this one's not gonna take as long. Just gonna chill in this corner. There's 2 purple ones. Ground Godhead Beer Gash. Left but the flocked, or flock. Don't know why I keep adding an ED at the end of that. Brain problems. Anyway, hated by the villagers of Shilamore for poisoning their fresh water. Hated by the Putis Templar for poisoning their fresh water. And disliked by the villagers of Mirkabur for burning one of their leaders in effigy. And the other one. God Remet, godhead of the uncanny kinsfolk. Loved by the flock, hated by cannibals for burning one of their leaders in effigy. Disliked by the villagers of Shibamore for casting doubt on their beliefs. I'm now merely disliked by the racist. A dubious honor, but I'm sure there's some advantages. Somehow. That seems to have been a time dilation mine. There's the one who said it. Let me just reload real quick. Also, I think I remember needing to collect some hookahs. Pick that one up, and then make sure I actually need to do that before I Commit that to memory. Was one of the fatals. Yeah, nah. Misremembering. Must have been a previous character. Also found another semi-automatic pistol. I think I used to use those before I picked up the laser pistols. And I've got the blueprint for it anyway. No reason not to take it apart. Get rid of this. And another godhead. Ruse Godhead Neliord. Loved by the flock. Disliked by the other flock. Or no, wait, that's the exact same one. He's both loved and disliked by the Ufrimaspian flock. Not sure why they like him, but they dislike him for poisoning their freshwater. Disliked by the Merchants Guild for impersonating one of their leaders, and disliked by the villagers of Darakesh for ruining the festival of Utyarauks. Also, he's got a missile launcher on him. Sure hope he doesn't decide to use that at point blank. Oh, hey there, Shinji. 666. How you doing? God's me a missile launcher. Second one, in fact. Gotta find a place to store those. Doing okay? Good to hear. How are the lands of Cud today? Yeah, they've definitely been worse. Actually, don't really have anything to complain about, so I think by default, they're pretty good. Lots of landmines and lots of Naftali in this historic site though, so it's gonna take a while before I get to the bottom of this place. Thankfully, I've got plenty of books to read on the way. Collect my free 2 bits from these. And now the books. Let me just have another sip first. And now we read. Hip, and you choose Cud. Now, take operating manual. A consensus. Aitken's observations in February 1819, or 1891. The fog was so rife with smashed rubble that it never occurred to me to bring that charm. Might finish crossing the desert. The first forms a cloud, called from its injector, thickened in sky below it, and choose this method of producing waves short enough to understand one's burden, can no longer spot the musker anyway. Society is visible. we are on very different character delineated with less detail, since no attempt is made up of atoms having dimensions approximately determined to be friends. But his disposition has become so sour since he was rebuffed and driven back toward perf. The direction of velocity. You are insisted as Tikva. You turn away from a toppled metal press and fit with a pull ring. An engraved steel dagger with an image of Shalashit I. While traveling alone in the glassblower's democracy of Shazopod, Shalashit had a dream that she was setting a jewel into a bracelet. From then on, she was obsessed with sapphires. Eyes Judging Its Surroundings, Volume 6. Names, Congratulation, condolence, whichever. Abram Spent. However, simply injecting the tonic will merely regrow the tongue, which will never do. More minds. Among Us But There, Volume 1. Ooh, you got the level 31. That's relatively up there. You, at the Tomb of the Eaters yet? Yeah. That's good. Hopefully you find plenty of brain brine. Got 9 arms and hands. That's a lot of arms. A lot more than my current character does. He's, kinda boring for a mutant, that is. Me read this book and I'll have a look at it. So, Among Us But There, Volume 1. He praised your handling of the prime numbers. More books. And more books. Okay. So, this guy, I started, he was Pilgrim. I went with as many points into unstable genetics, or whatever the exact name of it is. And I ended up with teleportation, double muscled, force bubble, triple jointed, hiding quickness, and temporal fugue I've got from this thingamajig, which also gives me 1 strength. So pretty nice. But yeah, the choice of mutations I have is kind of, not that spicy, but it should work. More strength, more agility, a force bubble, and a teleport. So I've got plenty of survivability, and I've got plenty of stats. So hopefully, I can actually beat the game this time. But I already know. There's a robot out there, in the moon stare. He wants me dead. Just a matter of time until I run into him. But until then, might as well read some books. Where's those ones I skipped over? Right here. It stands out to cool. In the spring clips and networked with a bouquet of crumbled legs. Crumbled, not crumbled. Totally different. Thou didst rouse. Foul smell of smoke remains. And hatch opens, Volume 5. Like Kraken or Saltback. and the button pouches allow for several input. Volume 7. During my travels, I noted a recurring mythology in the contrabass spectrum, drums out of the afflicted. Jade eyes are ultra keen and shine. Confronted by her ex-lover, the pariah was too much was felt. To the frail frame of reverence. View your character sheet. Press Command Character to view your core character info. What could it mean? Its body is elemental. Founder is water taking, no? To be breached and sink. Upper nug. And that's this floor down. Grab that dagger. Flashbang Miner. Get rid of you. Lost sight of him. And he's down. Or one of those, and you end up spending like a good minute or two just kind of getting flashbang repeatedly. Another book. Several Shades of Tinted. Volume 5. I really barra through them for a fixed water cost. Our remit's clank has returned. He awaits. Yes, Delver. Lots of turrets in this spot. Of choice forever obsoleting mask, unabridged. The ancient mark of death has been painted and glazed into a cool ocean of information, shaking the cruft of my life, in fact. And the chime, 5th edition. The resolution failed by majority vote. Its grown twin. The beautiful creature atop the branches of a higher type has its desired body, is of a medium without friction. This could not fold itself away, and the molding will follow. Have stone texture. I forget nothing important. Pax Clank. Clank. Volume 8. No one can only fathom how unpleasant it must be nature's crowning jewel. With allergy sores, and she is the same. Produce the full probability array of strange parts are summed together as a mechanism to prevent it. Scouts who keep pace. Or, no wait, keep the peace. Totally different. Why boys and girls like to reproduce sounds from a dead monkey and saw it into a T and ate the petals raw, but when those petals grew again, the foundry to become used to despise chrome gadgetry. Some real eat hot chip and lie kind of book, that one. Alright, floor 4. It's the liminal floor, so I think there's only one more. Kendrin, I'm very impressed. Needest thou a place where we reside, that they are highly penetrating. For breaking through rock. Ezra sits in stone grace with its 3 inherent qualities. Stun gas mines. That's a chain gun turret right over there. Just gonna move away. Grab that knife. It's the stun gas miner. Someone just threw a fungicide grenade at me. Also, I'm bleeding like crazy. Not sure why. Combat log would probably tell me, but that is not true strength. Not mean to move that way, but the turret didn't get a chance to shoot at me. Anyway, there's Danana Liok, godhead of the Jubilee. Loved by the flock, hated by bears, for releasing snakes into one of their camps. Disliked by the villagers of Kabibur, for impersonating one of their leaders. Also, another thing I've been thinking of, maybe I actually use some of the abilities I have. Like this one. I'm getting too preoccupied with just smashing into things. It is pretty satisfying. Need to put in more effort, or else I'll just fall over dead like all the other times. Rifling through the trash, you discover the location of Tiromek Hold. Strange plant. It's a seed spitter. And with that one copper nugget, I'm now carrying too much. 41 pounds of books. Got a bunch of food I have to process. Get rid of the Mark 1 grenades. Well, the high explosive Mark 1s. The thermal Mark 1s I'll hold on to. Not clear terribly much room. But even so, no, it can't be. Is. Shores of the round crystalline oven. I was wrenching moisture from the dirt. They lived their new host, rating this disease among the doyen on the garment. Doesn't seem to be anywhere else to explore, says the game. And I believe it. There's the chest. A lustrous mask of Nazamor, erstwhile a harp of historians. +1 toughness, +1 ego. Not the best, but it's pretty alright. Another godhead. Nura, or Yanurta Lo. Godhead, the blessing prudence. Stop tripping up. Gonna have a sip. Alright, so this godhead is loved by the flock, disliked by the villagers of Karawar for releasing snakes into one of their camps, hated by the Barathrumites for telling bawdy jokes, and disliked by the villagers of Shapa for questioning the origins of the moon. Albino monkey braid. Just enough to send me over. Weird artifact. Masterwork electrobow. Normally be a good find. But speaking of finds, I find I have to go do something. I'll be right back. Alright, I'm back. Nearly smacked right into the microphone. Better not do that. Some substance will conduct sound or light, extolling love for ... and plant likeness on a municipal 5th edition. A mass of matter in some measure of cognitive process, limited mobility, and a half years. And there is Tatep, legendary trash monk and leader of the Rismaspian flock. I'm bad at that word. Let me practice it. Ufrimaspian. 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 Okay, that's enough. He's loved by the Ufrimaspian flock, hated by the children of Mammon for lighting a beacon fire to warn their enemies, and disliked by the villagers of Darakesh for poisoning their freshwater. Sure have a bad reputation with the flock. That's fine. They don't really do much for me anyway. I am now disliked by the children of Mammon. Grounding shunt. Roof its wards. You would bear the imprint signature of the ancient cryobarios of the caves, then. Apparently so. Sometimes it waves in the jungle. Where? It's in its wake. Carrying too much. Didn't free up terribly much space. I am on the last level. Now's the time to try to make space. Should process the yuckweed. What else? 6 pounds of dreadroot tubers. Pretty sure I know how to make salve injectors. I do. And since I'm at the fire, let's have a nice simple meal. Like, say, some nostalgic watery salt loaf. Discovered Iruron's acre. See if I can't find that in the journal. Use the handy search function. It is directly south of Kyakukia. I'll try to remember that. Probably won't though. Also, how's the battery on the... Oh. But I can still see pretty good. Don't have another light source, do I? Oh, wait. I just remembered. A lantern-powered exoskeleton. Yeah. Gotta remember that. Could have had the fangs in the whole time. Luck be with you. Volume 7. Wine cellars, honeyhawkers, bookbinders, cobblers. And that seems to be everything here. Gotta drop off the books. Surprising how many of these start with the letter A. Well, maybe not that many. Whatever. Put them in the box. Also, I forget if I had gotten programmable recoilers. Don't think I did. Don't know why I open and close all the categories when I can just open all of them. Makes it so much easier. Also, no, I do not have programmable recoilers. Oh well. Gonna go over to Bela. Get that multi-weapon fighting. And tell him the location of Tagash first. Right? I now know how to multi-stab. More effectively, anyway. Speaking of, maybe I should grab jab too. And bloodletter. And maybe some of these other ones. Start with the multi-weapon. I don't think that's enough left over for any of these. Sure isn't. Maybe next level. It's got a couple of trinkets. I just grab that love injector. Now, what did I just buy? Choppa Recoiler. Flashbang Mark III. Fungicide Mark II. Well, 2 for 3 is still pretty good. It's got a time cube and a point defense drone. Don't think I need that one. Need might not be the right word, but I'm not buying it. Forget where the merchants were. The ones I found the advertisements for. There's the Gutsmonger. Worry about that later. For now, go over to Kakyukia and stop by the Iruran Acre. Get me some apples. Painted pump shotgun. Image of Polyshear. Inside a colossal hourglass, Polyshear cemented his friendship with electricians by marrying Namu. Already knew that one. And then remember that recoilers exist, and head on over to Ezra. Might as well identify stuff now, rather than later. Sure wish I could use those. But I must stay strong. Flawless Crystal Dagger. I already have one, as it turns out. Get that trade done. And over to Great Gate. Light rail. Hover sled. I will take the hover sled. Light rail, however, I think is the rifle rather than the pistol. I think it's a handrail that's the pistol. Might be wrong, but whatever. While traveling alone through the rust wells, Reshef came across a trove of gleaming stars in a bottle. From that day forth, he always kept some stardust on his person. One trade done. A grenade. Identify, please. Airfoil Mark III EMP. Cost 20 for the other one. Cost 1,142.86. Weighs 29. Cost 20 to identify. What could it be? I will pay you 20 water to tell me. It's a freeze ray. Not my kind of weapon. Though maybe it should be. And the last one I think is Jacobo. Ooh, it's got some good stuff. But it's all Mark III things. Better than the freeze ray. Already got the magnet. If I have enough leftover cash, I might just grab that helmet and tabard. Kind of expensive though. Especially for something I'm not going to be able to make for a really long time. I'll get the helmet. The tabard is more of a Trukin item. At least, the way I like to use it. Okay. One more thing I want to do. Go right back over to Ezra. Stick a box right here. Put away the rocket launchers. What else do I want to put away? Polar Red ages. Till I decided I don't want to use the artifact shield. Put away the polygel. Gigantic gloves. Put away the advanced data disk. And that's enough for now. I'll maybe also put away the arc winder. Okay. Now I could keep going, since I absolutely utterly failed with my original plan of going to Bethesda Susa. But I did get a bunch of other things done. Also, I'm out of beer. And I don't feel like having a second one. So I think that's gonna be it for the stream today. Now, don't think there's quite enough people to be worth doing a raid for. Yeah, don't see too many people online anyway. So I'm just gonna leave it there. So, hopefully that wasn't too terrible of a stream. I'm always rethinking on if I should read all those books or not. Sometimes there's interesting stuff, and sometimes I just kind of trip over words for like 50 minutes straight, it feels like. Whatever. I'll think about it later. For now, I've got things to go do other things too. And I'm rambling too much. So I'm gonna get going. See ya.